Previously, on our last adventure in the world of The Witcher, the group enjoyed some downtime, testing their wilderness survival skills with some mixed results from Casper, and his attempt to craft a walking stick for Opheia unfortunately ended in failure. And as the day went on, a well-intentioned grooming montage left Casper, Mareigh, and Kilton a little worse for wear. And finally, the group at the end of the day was able to take some time to relax and begin their preparations more in earnest for the upcoming gala, which is now only a day away. So that is where we pick back up at the Lodge of the Sorceresses in the High Watch. So we'll go ahead and get back to it. All right, it is now Tuesday.
No problem.
And once again, this day I'm just going to let everyone do one check. We're not going to spend a ton of time on this. So if there's one thing that you want to improve or practice, I'll let you do that, and then we'll get on to kind of the day of the gala itself. So
I believe my which one?
You were going to make some clotting powder, I believe, if I recall correctly.
Yes, but I was going to say I believe my my spleen has cleared up.
Your sepsis is gone.
Yes,
Sepsis
indeed. After yesterday's evening,
sepsis was 7 days.
The sterilizing fluid that Mareigh made and applied, you feel much better as you awaken today on Tuesday. So your sepsis has now healed and you are recovered from that, which I think was the last of your critical wounds from the ordeals in Saints Crossing. So you're able to mark all those off. And unless there's any...
No, spleen has a permanent one. I have a...
I only have some bitchin' scars now, though.
Oh, there's definitely some scars.
They're all
yeah.
below the neck.
Hey, that's the best kind.
It's true.
That's how you flirt with people.
I don't know how I got this scar.
Sleeves, yeah.
Let's see. Mareigh, you had gotten some ingredients yesterday,
Yes.
and you were also able to get a potion, which you're going to save. And so I guess let's start with Opheia. Opheia, you were going to make some clotting powder. You got the ingredients you needed. Would you like to do that today?
Yes, I would.
All right. Well, go ahead and give us a crafting check.
So, oh, wait a minute. Wait. Kaylin, I'm sorry, but I believe it is in fact Rebus I need for this. I might need to. Do you want to trade?
What are you trying to make? Are you trying to make
Rebus.
clotting powder?
Clotting powder.
Clotting powder is not
Yeah.
Rebus. Clotting powder in my sheet, it's Aether and Quebrith.
I have the. I can pull up the player's guide.
It should be clotting powder is Aether and Rebus. Yeah.
Why does it say Quebrith in my sheet? My formula says says Quebrith.
Well, that might be a side effect of me doing things manually in the VTT.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no.
I might have made it, but I will say, Mareigh, you found an alternate method to make it.
I found an alternate method to make
Because
clotting powder.
clotting powder is common enough. I'll say, Mareigh, you found a way to make a different type of clotting powder using Quebrith. So
Okay, cool. I'm a visionary.
yeah. But also, yeah, go ahead and update your
Yes, I will do that.
secondary. I'll let you do that. There's plenty of ways to make clotting powder. It's a common enough type of medical thing. I'm sure you can find a creative way to use Quebrith to do it. So,
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
That was so
that
funny.
visionary, or am I
That's
going to have to
very
borrow
funny.
some rebus?
You could. I have plenty of rebus. I will loan you some rebus. How much do you need?
Well, I think I just need one. It's a 1-to-1 ratio.
Okay.
I have 7 Aether, but I guess I'd like to save some. So
I need to save all my Aether. I'm very low, and I use it for a lot of stuff. But I can give you.
only going to make.
How much would you like? I have 10 total.
See.
I'd like to reserve at least.
I'll take 4, and honestly, if you need Aether, I can give you the rest of my Bourbicane.
Awesome. I will. How much Aether do you have?
I have 7.
I will trade you 7 rebus for 7 Aether. Fair is fair.
So I'm just gonna go ahead and clear Aether from my sheet then. So I'm gonna attempt to make 4 quantities of clotting powder. Don't ask for units or pounds or anything on that. It's just 4 quantities. So I'm gonna need crafting checks.
Absolutely. Go ahead and give us your first one, your first crafting check, first roll of the session here. All right, a 13. I believe you need a 12. Is that correct? Yeah, clotting powder is a 12, so you do manage to craft a unit of clotting powder.
Okay. Let's do 3 more.
17, easily craft another one. 12, just barely. It starts to burn a little bit around the edges and smoke a little bit, but you're able to craft it.
Yeah, some extra crispy.
And same thing, you're able to dial it in, so you're able to get 4 units of clotting powder.
All right.
Very nice.
And you know, Opheia, as you spend the day kind of taking your time, or also first part of the day at least, crafting and putting together these potions, I do actually think that they should have been alchemy, but to be fair, your alchemy and crafting skills are the same, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, that's right.
But well, I did say crafting. I was thinking crafting, but I believe it's supposed to be an alchemy DC, but your skill is the same, so it doesn't matter. And after you take the time to make these 4 successful alchemy checks, spending the ingredients needed, you're able to increase your alchemy skill to 1 after spending the day doing this. So.
It's almost like I'm a real druid now.
All right. As Opheia is cooking all morning, what is Kilton of Spala doing?
In the morning, well, breakfast is taken care of, so I think Kilton's gonna go riding. It's been a couple days, just go ride the horse, you know, keep its legs fresh and all that.
Absolutely.
Get my oil changed.
I love it. Kilton, you get Frostbeard all saddled up and ride out into the fresh, crisp snow of the day. Go ahead and give us a riding check.
Some tricks. No.
18. Frostbeard has
Do a kickflip.
Has become quite accustomed to you as a rider and your his new owner, and you're able.
Forgot I stole him.
You didn't steal him. He was gifted to you. He was gifted.
Oh, right. I was thinking of the one we killed that guy, and that was
We stole Tardis's horse.
Tardis's horse, yes.
Frostbeard was a hand-me-down, and you are able to kind of ride out along some of these back trails around kind of the foothills and mountains. There's a big kind of alpine lake that's almost covered in ice at this point, starting to kind of thaw in some points, and there's a trail leading around it. It's quite nice. Go ahead and give us a D10.
I was going to say I should look for some of that magic shit they're always looking for, Quebrith or whatever.
Ooh. Unfortunately, you rolled a 1, which is not what you were hoping to find. Oh, there were so many cool options. You could have found some hidden treasure or maybe a place of power. But unfortunately, Kilton, you ride your horse. You're riding along the kind of trail on this alpine lake near the lodge and heading up, kind of through some of the rockier terrain. And you, the quiet of the forest is quite serene and quite calm, and Frostbeard handles under you exceptionally well. And it's at that point that you hear a loud crack from above as one of the kind of pine trees gives way under the heavy load of fresh snow and begins to collapse down upon you. Go ahead and give us it's I believe another riding check, but this is a maneuvering check. I believe it's a DC, let me check. I think it's an 18 for a medium.
I'm going to put 3 luck into this.
Fair enough.
I would like to not die out here alone.
18 and 19.
Okay. Ooh,
nice.
glad I put that luck in it.
Close.
Yes. The whole top half of this tree breaks off and it falls down, crashes to the trail just behind you as you maneuver Frostbeard expertly just ahead, kind of pull to a halt as this huge crashing tree lands behind you. It probably would have dealt quite a bit of damage to you and Frostbeard if it had landed on you, so it is excellent that you were able to avoid that. The rest of your journey goes without incident, and you are able to return after an hour or two of a ride with Frostbeard. You're able to increase your riding by 1 point.
I'm never riding you again.
And yes, you come out of it a more expert rider, which is quite good. Yeah,
I found religion. No, I'm just kidding.
That's a lie.
All right, Kilton, you return. You unsaddle Frostbeard, get him back in the stables.
Frostbeard learned gambling.
Yeah,
gambling went up by 1. No.
Frostbeard is now an expert Gwent
Gwent
player.
isn't gambling; it's tactics. It's a game. It's a real man.
I'm going to take up
it's
Texas
a sport.
Hold'em.
There we go.
It's Redanian Hold'em.
Yeah.
All right, Casper, what are you doing today?
All right. Casper would like to blackmail somebody
Ooh,
a little bit.
Just
Just a
Casper gonna
smidge. He's going, or I don't know if this is blackmailing or something else, something stupider, but he's going to find Julian.
He is playing on the piano as reciting one of his songs.
Just kind of like walks over, looms over him as he is wont to do, and just
Can I
kind
help
of
you?
Julian, you are you're an attractive man, and
Yeah.
no, not where this is going. You don't want us to let anybody at the party know that you are associated with this party, correct?
Well, I mean, sure.
It would be damaging if people knew that we were friends.
I mean, it's just less preferred. I'm not, against knowing you. It just seems like, I mean, look at you. Your head's half burned off. It looks like you leaned in to get a loaf of bread and you lit your head on fire like some sort of stooge.
Yes, it would be inopportune for me to say possibly that I get all of my styling tips from one dandelion.
Well, I mean, that's just what people wouldn't believe that. Go ahead and give us if you'd like.
I do an intimidation check.
Yeah, I'll let you do an intimidation check. Yeah.
I don't even know where it's under willpower. Cool. I'm gonna put a couple luck into this just because I think it's funny to do this. 16.
And what are you trying to achieve by this, Casper?
Casper is going to try and get Julian to give him like a makeover.
Okay, all right. So this is a resist coercion on Julian's part. With an 11, he is not able to. He goes, Casper, I don't know that mages would necessarily know to not believe that. I think that would be... why would you do such a thing? That seems just cruel and unusual.
Yes, that's why you're going to make me over. Make me look.
He's all that.
I want you to...
You are made a pretty woman, you, don't you?
Well, without the other implications of that.
Oh. It's fine. I've never seen the play. I don't actually know what it's about, but I just know that it's... Well, yeah, so you want me to give you a makeover, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I can do that.
I refuse to let sorcerers think less of me based on looks.
Oh, that's fair. They think less of you on many things, but looks definitely shouldn't be one of them. Well, I think first we should visit the hot tub, the hot spring out back. It'll relax you. All those tensions in your muscle from being, so stern and, gruff and grim. It'll make it a lot better. I swear. All the other witchers I've gotten into a hot spring with, they're like a different person when they come out. I think really they just need a spa day. So we'll start with that, and then we'll go from there. Does that sound good? Of course it doesn't, because you're a grim, crusty old man. Let's go.
I'm not old.
I mean, you're old enough to be my grandfather, I think.
That is not true.
I mean, my grandfather had children very young, so it is possible, but...
Old enough to be your father, maybe.
That's absolutely obvious, just looking at you. Anyways, let's go. He takes you out to the magical hot spring that they have out back. It's like one of those, it's like a natural hot spring that is like kind of built up to be a like spa hot tub type thing and is magically enchanted to be like a nice temperature, not like too hot, too cold.
So
God
nice.
damn it, in the snow.
Outdoor bath in the snow.
Are you fucking kidding me? I'm so
trying to have a good
jealous.
It's a nice time. Casper, I need you to give me a resist coercion check.
There is a note on the tub outside saying, Julian, clean the fucking tub when you're done.
Oh, yes. The tub that you used was the indoor one that is in the newly renovated bathtub or bathroom.
The note is on that tub, too.
Yeah. There's a
On
notice
both.
posted on all the...
It's on
just
both.
in case.
It's on both, just in case.
Oh my god.
Oh. Well, there we go. Once again, fumbled by 18.
Wow.
God in heaven. I don't even have like a bad resist coercion.
Yeah,
like,
you have a pretty good... I was like, oh, you're good. This isn't even a hard check. You only needed a 12. This is like...
18 fumble. The other one was like
Undid.
17 fumble. 17
It was a
fumble.
17.
Like that is some of the worst fumble I've
His ass
That's
is
pretty
clean in
bad.
the hot tub.
Yeah.
wild.
Casper, you get into this like hot spring out in the brisk snow. You're resistant to this every step of the way as you're like, this is stupid. I hate this. And you
He's
get
one big like tight muscle. He's just
yeah, and you like settle down into this like, crafted hot spring and like the hot mineral water around you. It's like the perfect temperature, the brisk air around you, and just like every sense of like willpower that you have and your like ability to just like be yourself has just like melted away as you're just like rejuvenated and relaxed.
he literally is just a cat, like a fucking stray cat who's just like, I hate you. And then the second somebody starts petting him, he's just like,
Oh, hi.
But
Meow,
here's
meow,
the
meow.
thing, actually, Casper, because this is one that you actually did want to fail. Because if you had passed, you wouldn't have become relaxed, and you would have been, stubborn in your ways, and so with a critical failure, it is actually the one time that is a good thing.
So funny.
Oh, good.
Enemy boy, it's the hot tub speaking.
You need to
the hot tub sound like Kilton.
You need to kill Julian.
You need to kill Julian.
It is imperative.
So
leave.
Leave. Just leave.
You don't need
Leave the
them.
sorcerer's party. You don't need these chuckleheads.
You don't need them. Come with me.
And apply my lotion.
This is Balor speaking via the hot tub. Serve me. Forget these chuckleheads.
Oh my god.
all right, Casper, here's what you're going to get from the relaxation from the spa that you are in with Julian. You are going to get a -5 to your resist coercion for like the next day.
No.
You're very relaxed and you're
You're
just
gonna
like
be
a
very
lot more
agreeable.
amenable to things. You're just like,
You're gonna be
yeah,
an
man.
agreeable guy.
Hi.
That's my dirt.
Oh no. This
You're
is.
It's just chill. That's fine.
But
Oh no.
because you are now more relaxed and a little, you're just like feel good. Like your back doesn't hurt as much, your shoulders don't hurt. You're like, oh man, like it actually, I feel good.
God, I wish that were me.
You're gonna get a +5 to your charisma for the next same amount of time, the next day or so. As
Shit. +5 to charisma? Like, is that all empathy or just charisma?
just charisma, so like trying to be charming, essentially. Like you're feeling good, and you're like, wow, like this is actually not like, you know, you're able to kind of put on like a little bit, stand up straight, and like, you know, feel good and like have good body language and things like that. So
Everyone realizes that Casper's actually like almost 6.5 feet tall for the
Yeah.
first time ever, because he's usually shaped like a question mark.
Are you so fucking tall?
all right, and then after the spa day, Julian takes you inside to his chambers, and he is going to do a grooming and style on you, and we'll see how he does there. Okay, pretty
Fumbles.
good. With a 25, he does a pretty decent
Holy
job, and is able to pretty expertly, like, he takes what you've done with like your burned section of hair and your kind of matted hair that was like half combed. He like gets all the knots out. He grooms it up. He kind of like shaves down the sides to be like even-ish on the sides. He kind of gives you like a shave and like some cologne and, you know, all of the kind of barber, full barber service that you
Trims your
could
nose
want.
hairs, trims your ear hairs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely not. That's so weird.
He does it all, and he
This
then
is as close to a yaoi moment as anybody is gonna get, actually.
so he is going
Sorry,
to
ladies.
boost with your improved grooming and style. He's going to give you a +2 to social etiquette and
Ooh.
probably a +2 to persuasion and seduction, as he does a very
Okay.
nice job as in grooming you. Looks nice.
Persuasion. And these are also for the next like day or so.
These would probably last, at least the next day, right? I mean, this is more kind of physical appearance and stuff, so it's not quite as temporary. But yeah, I'd say a day, maybe a little bit more. But
Should have worked on my persuasion and charisma in the week, but oh well.
all right, Casper, as you spend the day with Julian, as you blackmailed him into helping you, you feel great. Like you're like, damn, this is what normal
I
people
hate
feel
this.
like.
I feel good. Me, when I first went on Adderall. Damn, you bitches live like this?
Goddamn right.
I hate this. I feel good. I hate that you're right. This pisses me off.
I mean, it doesn't take much, Casper. It doesn't take much. As he pours you a glass of ale after your barber session, and with that, Mareigh, what are you doing for the day?
I'm measuring out my doses to take my pretty potion.
Yay!
My pretty potion, and then I'm going to make myself a draught of succubus's breath.
Ooh, all right. So go ahead and give
gonna
us.
be so goddamn fucking sexy. Succubus's breath is a basic level potion or basic level chemical substance. It is a DC 12. I'm using distillation to make it really good.
Nice. Okay.
Not gear. I need profession. I'm gonna put 2 luck into this. Nice.
20. Nice.
So it's succubus's breath. A dose of succubus's breath can be used to aid seduction. Used on the skin, it gives you a +2 to seduction. If poured into someone's drink, it gives them a -5 to seduction resistance. Like black venom, it takes a DC 16 awareness check to realize that there is succubus's breath in the drink. I will not be dosing anyone with this. I'm going to be using it on my skin, so it's going to give me a +3 to seduction instead of a +2.
Alrighty.
Maybe Succubus's breath smells like the potion.
I don't know. Probably just an amorphous niceness, but it's like something that you can't easily place, so it makes you wonder about it.
It's like an attractive nostalgia.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be pretty, and I'm also gonna be seductive. 'Cause my empathy score needs all the fucking help it can get.
What is your empathy score?
7, which is not bad, but like I'm very poorly trained in a lot of skills. It's not bad. I don't tend to do well with the rolls though, and I make them more than you do.
All right. Well, that is the Tuesday. Opheia getting a chance to do some alchemical crafting. Mareigh getting a chance to experiment with your potions and craft a higher level potion. Kilton narrowly avoiding a nearly catastrophic
Horse accident.
yeah, Widowmaker branch fall, I think is what they call him. And Casper getting yassified. All right. Go ahead and
So subtle.
Cassified.
Cassified, yeah. That's the name of the episode, Cassified.
Just do an edit of Casper with the nails.
Yeah.
How catty.
Bo, you have until this episode goes live to draw us a thumbnail of Casper
Draw.
with yassified Casper.
I was just thinking,
You assume that I haven't already done that.
Well, there you go.
just use like the emojis on over.
All right.
Oh my god.
Well, you all
PNG.
fall asleep and awaken the morning of Wednesday. The anticipation is in the air as everyone, hurries around trying to get everything ready for the mages' party. Now, it appears as though the sorceresses have been doing quite a lot of work downstairs in preparation, as well as up here in the kind of entry hall area where they've gotten, their tables. And this is kind of like the charcuterie, buffet area, if you will, and the mingling chamber. And you are all ready for the party, presumably the morning of Wednesday. People begin arriving as soon as 9 a.m. You hear the sound of a carriage roll up, horses snorting, their breath steaming in the cold morning air, and you first see a mage arrive coming in through the hall with a couple of servants, and assistants that are helping him, and you see a fairly well-dressed in kind of dark gray robes, a mage who you presumably do not recognize, but I will give Mareigh the opportunity to give us a magical training check to see if perhaps you might recognize this mage.
Yes, sir. Going for it.
25. Yes, indeed. From the demeanor and the dress and kind of the overall features of this mage, you are able to identify this mage as Mareigh, who is a mage at Banard, a professor, in fact, of quite well renowned. He has been kind of reclusive in more recent years, but tends to be a fairly well-adept magician using mostly air and water magic. He arrives. Clarice greets him. She says, welcome to the High Watch Lodge. It's so great to have you and your companions here. We've got a gur ready for you. If you'd like, I can show you the way and you can get comfortable. The gala will be starting this evening. You'll have plenty of time to prepare. And she leads Mareigh to his gur's chambers. What are you all doing the day of the party?
Besides getting ready.
Yeah, I mean, getting ready. How are you getting ready? I mean, Mareigh, you've got your potion. Anyone else's? Casper's looking pretty good. Kilton, your mustache is still a little off. Opheia, you're looking pretty good.
I thought I evened it out.
You evened it out, but I mean, it's not your normal glorious.
It's not on.
Yeah. It's a little off-putting.
The floor of the bathroom we share at this lodge.
Yeah.
Casper's gonna do some scripting in his brain of getting ready for all the possible social interactions that could happen, so that he's ready to respond in a normal human way.
Honestly, Mari's kind of doing the same.
Absolutely.
I think Opheia doesn't know what to expect.
You can ask Mareigh; she can tell you.
I could ask you, or I could try to track down Clarice again.
Use this as an opportunity to flirt.
If she's not extremely busy.
She's probably extremely busy, but shoot your shot, I guess.
Absolutely. Opheia, you are able to kind of catch Clarice as she has been greeting guests as they arrive. Mareigh and everyone else is kind of off getting ready and doing their thing, and you're able to catch Clarice as she goes by. What are you going to say?
Hey, Clarice. I noticed there's a lot of people coming here. Obviously, is there anyone in particular that I should be on the lookout for?
Well, that's a good question. We've got quite a who's who of RSVPs that have said they will be attending. Of course, it's a little difficult with mages. Sometimes they say there'll be places and sometimes they won't. But we have Mareigh. I believe you saw him arrive earlier today. He's always quite punctual and in fact early, a little bit to Luis's chagrin, but he likes to make sure he's here. We also have Aowara. She is a fairly well-renowned alchemist from Aretusa. She should be in attendance. We've got quite a number of younger mages that have more recently been graduates, maybe not made a name for themselves yet, but they will be excited to kind of learn about what we're doing here. And there will be Casimir, who is quite adept at all types of magic. Actually, he's made a name for himself as a court mage, and he's very well known historian as well. I think we mentioned that Gerwolf Mordhain will be in attendance as well. Be careful around him. He's very peculiar in his he's an elf, but he's we're not really sure how old he is, and he's really focused mostly on history. So if you do end up speaking with him, just use small words. He's a very educated man, but he has seen more lifetimes than most ever will. So sometimes,
Well, it seems like it might be helpful to pick his brain if he'll let us.
absolutely, whatever's left of it, have at.
But there seems like there's a lot of people with really impressive credentials on their way, but nobody that you're excited to see. No one that's just interesting for their own sake, regardless of magical prowess.
Well, there's
Subtle.
Kilton's gonna be there.
Let's see. Well, Zafina is supposed to be. We were friends for a long time back at Aretusa. She kind of took a bit of a different direction in life than I did. And I always preferred the more scientific approach to alchemy and things like that. But we got along quite well, and it's been a long time since I've seen her, so it'd be nice to catch up. Okay.
Doesn't sound like the competition's too bad. I'm gonna run off.
Competition? She goes, well, let me know if you need anything, Opheia. I'll be around.
Talk to the old elf if I can. Got it.
So I also wanted to talk to the old elf who I knew was coming. I think it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I'm just going to be mentally prepping. I got to focus. I got to hone in.
Oh, I actually have a thing that Casper's going to do today, which is try to figure out how to get his armor underneath his fancy clothes without it looking really weird.
Sure. Absolutely. I think that's going to be, let's see. So you have fancy clothes, correct?
I do. I bought some. I have I think it's literally called fancy clothes.
I think it is, yeah. All right. Well, Casper, you are going to try
fashionable clothing.
Fashionable clothing.
I guess how much armor can I wear under fashionable clothing?
Not much.
Not
Clothing is clothing.
Yeah, the thing that you'd be able to do, so let's see, your upper body armor, you've got your Griffin Witcher armor, which you're probably not going to be able to disguise. Like if you're trying to hide that you're wearing armor, that one is not going to be hideable really. Now a Gambeson, that one you could probably hide, and that would be pretty easy. So it's up to you in terms of and same thing with head armor, right? You're not going to really be able to hide that you're wearing a coif. That's really possible.
Yeah.
Trousers are pretty easy to hide. So if you'd like to, go ahead and just give us, I think, a stealth check as you're trying to, just kind of make your clothing lay properly and try and get your fancy clothing over your armor in order to not show too much. Great. Yeah. 18. You are able to pretty effectively hide at least your armored trousers, which are, I think, your Griffin Witcher trousers, and your Gambeson beneath your armor. Everything else, I would say you'd have to unequip in order to stay hidden. So, or
right,
keep it hidden.
The Gambeson can stay on. And
I don't want to think about the possibility of fighting in this.
Oh,
this party.
There's no part of Casper that is ever sure that fighting isn't going to happen. He doesn't want to die. All right.
Just a room full of mages. It's going to be just a room full of fire.
All right. So that's actually a great question of who is kind of wearing or who is going to try and keep armor on and stuff because this is a fancy, it's probably not necessarily a black tie event, but close to, right?
If I can get away with wearing armor under fancy clothing, I will try, but like for women's dresses, it's a little different.
It would be a higher DC, right? Like if you're wearing like a tunic, it's pretty easy to hide a gambeson. If you're wearing a dress, like that's tight fitting, it's harder to hide a gambeson. So
Yeah, a gambeson.
But your legs will be very guarded.
Why am I wearing 2 sets of trousers?
You can layer armor.
it depends. On certain kinds you can. I don't know if I'd have to double check if you can layer leg armor like trousers, because I don't think you can necessarily. It's like certain types of, you can do like heavy armor over like a gambeson.
I think it just actually re-equipped itself because I did upgrade my trousers. I don't think it's going to work. I mean, I'll try it and see how it works together. Like I've got the double woven stuff, which is all right. It's pretty light. It's light armor.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and give us a stealth check. And again, anyone else who would like to keep your armor on while at this fancy dress, if you don't want to hide that you're wearing armor, then you don't need to. But
I'll remove my hood, which is the irony being that the head's kind of the important part. But I'll keeping the gambus and the trousers because I don't really have anything that fancy to wear over it anyway.
Absolutely. All right.
I'll remove everything.
Stealth button.
Except my clothes.
Mareigh with a 16.
Coming out of a cake.
So you're trying to keep on your trousers and the gambeson.
Trousers and the gambeson, but like I don't think the gambeson's gonna
Oh,
work.
Opheia.
With a 16, it's a little bulky. It's not maybe the most like flattering, but
if it does the potion help with it?
It would probably help. And also a 16, you do pass. That's what you needed for that one. So, Opheia, you are unable to hide your armor beneath your fancy clothes.
No.
If you want to keep them on, you can, but you feel like you're not able to really hide the fact that you are very clearly wearing armor.
I think if I die at this party, I die at this party. I guess I'm going to uncheck my equipped boxes.
We should just be trying to avoid a fight to begin with.
Yeah.
I honestly think if a fight's going to break out at this party, we need to run. There's going to be very powerful people here throwing very powerful magic around. I don't want to see any of you caught in that crossfire. Nor do I want myself to be caught in that crossfire.
It's better to be prepared, though.
It is better to be prepared.
All right, and Kilton, are you wearing any armor, or are you undressing fully?
I am just going to wear fancy clothes.
All right, you got it.
Somebody shoots me, they could be shooting any random person at this party. I'm running faster than them.
Fair enough. Absolutely. All right. The afternoon grows near, and it is now time to attend the gala. As you leave from your gurs and head to the main hall, you see that it has been decorated. The torches and sconces on the wall have now been illuminated with kind of a purple, pinkish flame that kind of glows and emanates through the hall and kind of casts these eerie lights out onto the snow as dusk begins to fall. And you see that the main chamber here that you are currently, your tokens are in at least, is kind of fully decked out. Julian is tinkling away, playing some light piano music as people, kind of filter in. And you see that Katrine is directing people down towards the basement, where you see an additional purple and green glow emanating from the basement. And Louise comes downstairs from her chambers, and she greets you all. She goes, "Thank you all. Welcome. I'm so glad that we've had the last week to spend together here, and I'm looking forward to tonight's gala. I think it'll be a great opportunity for, all of us to learn about what's happening and get to meet new mages and sorceresses and people of interest who, I think we'll have a lot of interesting things to say. So I'm going to head downstairs. I'll see you all there." And she exits downstairs, walking down the kind of spiral staircase leading down.
I don't trust this one bit. This is all incredibly suspicious, and I hate this.
This is not strange.
This is weird.
This is not weird.
This is suspicious.
This is not suspicious.
It's weird, but it's not suspicious.
This is made shit.
Made shit is always suspicious. It's an oxymoron.
Clarice comes up from the entrance, having greeted most of the guests. It seems like a few might still be filtering in, but she comes in from the kind of entryway, and she turns to all of you. She goes, I'm going to be heading downstairs. She offers her arm to Opheia. She says, will you be joining me?
Simp.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
You take her arm, and she leads you downstairs. There are all of the rest of you following.
Before I do that, what buffs does my pretty potion give me?
Oh, absolutely. So you have, before coming into the main hall area, taken your draught that has the lustrous veil potion, and that it gives you a +5 to your charisma.
Awesome.
And additionally, a +2 to your persuasion, seduction, leadership, and I think that's it. Yeah. So
persuasion, seduction, and leadership.
So 2 to persuasion, seduction, leadership, and +5 to your charisma.
Sorry. I have this macro to my numbers.
It's all good.
Persuasion, seduction, and leadership. Fail. God, not 23. And then seduction. I have 3 modifiers to seduction now. Awesome. Fail.
And yet you're monogamous. Tragic.
No, she's not.
Oh.
Yeah. Where'd you get that?
No, they're absolutely not monogamous. Like her girlfriend's an elf. Got some, has some fucking responsibilities to her people.
All right, so Mareigh, with your potion taken, and you begin to you feel that warm glow kind of course through you, and you kind of like take a look at yourself in the reflecting glass, and you see that there is sort of a literal glow about you, almost as like your skin is like completely free of any blemishes, and you're radiant and just like exceptionally beautiful with this potion having been taken. So.
Oh, she's good. She even got the smile lines.
All right.
I don't miss this.
And
Before I go down, over
Yes.
the course of the time that we have been here, have I noticed any like basement windows, like basically quick escapes?
So what's interesting is, as you approach the basement to kind of look around, you see that these stairs leading down don't seem to lead to the normal basement that you had noticed in the week or so having stayed here. You see that this appears to have been enchanted in some way. So it seems as though the basement is sort of a liminal space that is its own little pocket dimension type thing that they have created of a big grand hall. You hear sounds echoing up from the spiral staircase leading down into the basement. Clearly what is down below is much larger than had been previously there in the basement.
I don't want to go down there.
All
We
right,
need
everyone
to
go ahead and pick your character arc that you want for this screen as you head downstairs. As you walk down the spiral staircase, it leads to a large chamber door, and as you step through the door, you are greeted by two sets or a set of mechanical or enchanted armors who kind of greets you there. One is holding a big platter of champagne or some sparkling wine, and the other is holding kind of an hors d'oeuvres tray, and it kind of greets you in like this enchanted robotic voice and says, "Welcome to the Sorceresses Lodge, Gala. Make yourself comfortable."
I hate this.
All right, and as you step down into what appears to be this large enchanted hall, you see that there is quite an assortment of mingling sorcerers and sorceresses of varying degrees. You see quite a few, probably like student level almost, younger sorceresses who maybe haven't established themselves as fully. You also see a few of the more renowned sorcerers and sorceresses who had been mentioned previously. And of course, the hosts who are, hurrying around and greeting and helping people and chatting and being hosts.
Papaw Gerwolf.
Let's see, there's Katrine.
Can I do a scan of the room to see if there's basically anybody threatening?
Sure,
I
absolutely.
guess everyone's threatening to Casper, but anybody notably threatening.
I think this is an excellent opportunity for everyone to go ahead and give us a human perception check if you would like.
Yes, please.
Can it not be a human person?
If you're looking at people, it's going to be that, I think.
Hey, not bad.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Unless there's something else you want to look for, but if you're looking at people and if they're threatening, it would be human perception. Ah, Casper.
Yeah.
Sweet, sweet Casper.
Yeah. It's an empathy skill.
Yeah, it is. All right. And Kilton, you want to do one as well, or are you good?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. Got it.
I think you're muted.
All right, Kilton with a 20. Nice. All right, we'll start with Casper. Looking around, you're already off-put by just the fact that the basement is now a grand hall. And so you kind of are distracted immediately by the fact that this is not normal. You take a look around, you see that the hall is a large space with tables laid out and glowing sconces on the wall and torches, and there's windows, but outside the windows are just kind of big panels of light, and so it just kind of, they don't go anywhere. There's nothing actually outside the windows, just kind of emanating light in. And you see at the end of the hall are some kind of tables of honor, I guess, and you can see Gerwolf is set up there. He's a hunched old elf, and looking around, none of one seems more or less threatening than you would normally feel. I mean, you always feel a little threatened, but these are all mages, and they all seem to have their secrets to hide. Opheia and Mareigh with a 14 and 16 looking at the people around. You are able to immediately kind of clock in that the people that are of the younger attendees, the students and lower level teachers and researchers, a lot of the mages that have shown up and sorceresses that have shown up seem to be more or less researchers, right? They're not really your standard court mages. They seem to not be that threatening. Yeah, they could be dangerous if you had to fight them one-on-one or something, but they're probably not, compared to you guys, not that hugely threatening. Now, some of the other ones do kind of stand out, and of note, there is the mage Casimir, who seemed to be mentioned previously, as well as Aowara, who she seems to have kind of colorful robes on, kind of dark skin, dark hair, kind of tied up. In general, it's a room full of mages and sorcerers and sorceresses. They can all be dangerous. And Kilton, Taking a look around with a 20, you're able to just pass that next DC. You get the impression that probably the most dangerous person in here would probably be either Katrine or Casimir. You feel like what you've seen of Katrine, she's been not necessarily like more powerful than the other sorceresses, but you know, she's definitely got a control of chaos that is unusual. And Casimir just has that air of someone who seems like they could be dangerous in ways that you don't necessarily want to find out. Mareigh, I'm going to have you go ahead and give us a, let's see here. Yeah, let's go ahead and do a deduction check.
Ooh, yeah. I'm good at those.
It's a pretty high DC, but...
And I'll put a luck into it.
Okay, with a 20. Mareigh, you take a look around, and you're kind of in the unique space of being from this background. You're familiar with the customs and, you know, all of the intricacies that come along with being a mage or a sorceress in the world of the continent. And you get the impression that most of the people here are genuinely here interested in the opportunity for something new. And while they all might have their ulterior motives, most of them are here for generally the right reasons. Now, you are distinctly drawn towards the figure of Casimir, who is kind of standing alone, doesn't really have like a conversation. Everyone else is kind of like chatting or, you know, mingling and doing that kind of like pre-party cocktail hour chat that, you know, mages do. And Casimir is just kind of like, he's kind of sat in his chair. He's not eating anything. He's got like a glass of wine and he's just kind of like watching the whole room. And you feel something kind of deep inside that's just like, you haven't met Casimir before, but he feels uncomfortably familiar. And with a 20, you're not quite able to place where you recognize him from, but he feels like you have encountered him before in some way.
Fuck. Okay.
So what are you all doing as you enter into the Grand Chamber?
I want to tip the others off about the two that I pinged as the strongest.
I haven't met him before, but he's familiar to me. I can't place why.
I could go introduce myself.
Did you?
Get ahead of it.
I think it'd be not wise for me to do it directly.
Well, I'll go introduce myself.
Sure, absolutely. Kilton, you approach Casimir, and he kind of turns towards you as you approach. He goes, "Oh, hello. Are you one of the mages as well?"
Do I look like a mage?
No, you look like a half-rate servant, but I didn't want to be rude. Can I help you?
Servant? Oh, gods. I'll ignore that for the moment. Seems you've been misinformed. Kilton Espala, pleasure to make your acquaintance. I go for a handshake.
Of course. He kind of like gives you like the most brief hand touch. You like, it's a shake, but it's...
Oh, he's not. I'll hold.
Do
Yeah.
the power handshake.
I'm not doing the power handshake, but I'm not letting him get away with a...
Yeah. He goes...
I dap him up. No.
Yeah, Kilton of Sparla. That's not a mage name I recognize. What is it that you do?
Name. I provide mages with any number of materials. Ever cast a spell without, I don't know, or made a potion without reagents?
Yes, of course, of course. Every gala, every party, every gathering always has to have one of you, doesn't it? Some
Noble?
hawker trying to sell his wares. That's the best.
Hawker. Oh,
I can assure
You
you,
have
sir,
me all
I'm
wrong.
not interested. There's better marks here. Half these fools
marks.
will buy whatever it is that you're selling, and I guarantee you that they'll do it with a smile on their face.
who'd you say is the biggest mark here? Obviously, you're the smallest mark.
Well, any number of these apprentices that have yet to see 10 years of experience under their belt. Any of them.
Think they'd buy parsley as fool's parsley?
My dear sir, they would probably buy anything that you sell them in greater quantities than you can imagine at prices that they wouldn't even begin to understand as being complete rip-offs, because, I mean, they are all, without a better term, idiots. But you're not an idiot, are you, sir? You seem to be of a great intellect, of course, right? Why else would you be here selling to the best mages in the continent?
Hilton knows when someone's bullshitting him. Oh, they'll buy whatever you're selling, but you're not an idiot like them. Okay. Sure. Doubt. Well, that's enough of that. Ooh, living armor. Hey, hello. Would you like to buy? I just distract myself.
Kilton, go ahead and give us a human perception check here as you're kind of engaging face-to-face with Casimir.
This guy's
Which
the
I just
worst.
realized now is also, isn't that the dude from the Baldur's Gate, the other vampire guy?
That's Cazador.
Cazador.
Casimir is in Curse of Strahd. He's a character. He's a mage character in
That's
Curse of
where I
Strahd.
Oh,
recognize
okay.
the name.
Is it spelled the
Is-
same? I was like, I feel
No.
like I know the name, but I haven't played
Yeah,
Curse of
it's
Strahd, so...
Oh, it is.
It is spelled the same.
Okay.
Casimir.
The voice is very reminiscent of Cazador.
Cazador's Saw.
I never actually got to meet him because bad things happen, but I heard his name a lot. But it's spelled with a C, right? Anyways, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
15. Kilton with a 15 on your human perception here of Casimir. You are able to kind of get, yes, this guy is like, he's like a grade A asshole narcissist who's like,
Douchebag.
he's a douchebag and like he knows it and he doesn't really care, and like he just kind of like he's essentially like testing the limits of like how much of a douchebag he can be before you just like leave. And he's like that, there's no one else around him. He's clearly done this to like everyone that's tried to talk to him so far tonight, and he's just like
Oh, good. I'll have something to talk about with everybody else.
yeah, he's kind of just like getting off on being like the biggest asshole in the room.
Well, I know my intro to selling literally anything. You talk to that guy? If the answer is yes, commiserate, hawk it. If the answer is no, he'll buy anything. Can you imagine? You should go talk to him. Then get them riled up. I come back to the party. Guy's a fucking douchebag.
Do I know of him? Like, I can imagine he's probably a Banard graduate,
All right.
but
Graduate of asshole university.
any
Straight from
gossip
the
I've heard on the
colon.
winds, this is probably who Danilo was talking about in her letter.
Mareigh, go ahead and give us your magical training check in lieu of education.
In lieu of education, because I got a special education.
24. That's pretty good.
Anything like he's accomplished, like how old, relative, what cohort he's in.
You think back and you're trying to rack your brain of who this Casimir is.
Mental
And you're like,
Rolodex.
you've heard the name mentioned. You've obviously like, he was on the guest list and but you've never met him. And you're like, but he feels really familiar. And you can't quite place him. And so you're racking your brain of like, where do I know this name? Where might I recognize him from? And you
Or if I know someone who knows him.
Exactly. And with a 24, you're trying to think and you're like, okay, Casimir. There's a few different Casimirs and you're like, okay, which the one that comes to mind is Casimir Damerlicht. And he is renowned throughout the magical world of the continent as being kind of like a grade A asshole. First off, he's known as that. That's no secret. He is kind of a douchebag, and people don't really like working with him. He is known for kind of experimenting with magic in unusual and sometimes like not illegal, but just like unusual ways.
Nothing's unethical when it comes to mages.
Yeah, and he's also like a big student of like the historical mages, the ones that liked to experiment on things a lot in ways that were considered by modern standards morally and ethically not okay. He was very like into that kind of experimentation and fine with it. And you also know that he was the name clicks in your mind and you're like, oh, that's the guy who is like renowned for experimenting with insectoids a lot. He really likes to experiment and like engineer his own insectoids.
It's the bug guy.
It's the bug guy.
I remember. The more I remember, I whispered over to Opheia. The more I remember about this guy, the less I like him. And then, does bugs trigger something with me?
What are you thinking, Mareigh?
The guy from my vision. The guy from my death vision.
Yes. It clicks in your mind that this is the same mage that you saw in a vision some months prior. And that is where you presumably recognize him.
Mareigh just gets really quiet really fast.
Alright, you seem tense.
Just I cast a long glance over him, but then back to Opheia, and then just tap my wrist twice. The wrist where the constellation is. Asimir Damerlicht.
Probably shouldn't let him see that then, but I couldn't help but notice that Geralt the elf is up there. It would be nice to talk to him, I think. Although
Why don't we go over there together?
Let's go together.
Have to make some greetings as we pass, as to not be rude. But
I will also, Mareigh, as you make this realization and convey it to at least Opheia, are you conveying it to the others as well?
Yeah, I'll pull Casper down here and whisper in his ear. Asshole in the high collar is the man from my vision.
Should I kill him?
Not yet.
Why not?
He needs to provoke. We can't explain killing a man with no provocation. We just say it was because I had a vision. It does not work here.
I mean, it would be amusing to see you get hit by magical fire and lightning from every direction, but
I want to know what he's up to as well.
Mareigh, Opheia's comment there triggers something else in your mind. Something magical fire. Go ahead and give me a deduction check.
Deduction.
19. Mareigh, it triggers in your mind the idea of magical fire, and you're like, magical fire? What? You think back to some time prior when you were at Kaer Morhen, and not Kaer Morhen. What is it?
It was Kaer Seren.
Kaer Seren. Yeah. When you were back at Kaer Seren, and you had encountered a presence in the fire. It wasn't distinguished, but it was distinct. And that comment from Opheia made the connection to you that with a 19 deduction, you're pretty sure that that resemblance in the fire was the same as Casimir. You could be mistaken, but it seems like you're pretty confident with a 19.
Want it to be true. This fucker's been following us. At least since Kersarin. But again, we don't do things unprovoked.
But he thought I was a mage.
Do I recognize this guy at all?
Casper,
Anything about him?
go ahead and give me a human perception check. I'm gonna have you give me a stealth check before you give the human perception check, because at this point your group has kind of given a bit of attention towards him, and you run the risk of being noticed.
Oh,
We're already the weirdos here.
you're already the weirdos here.
Okay, Casper, go ahead and give us your human perception check. But as you look over to observe Casimir, you look over at him and your eyes just lock because he is currently looking at you, and you're like, shit. But go ahead and give us that human perception before we move on.
I want to leave.
Is that an option?
I want to leave right now. I'm going to put 2 luck into this and hope I don't fully fumble. Okay. Well, you know.
All right,
You know
Casper,
how it is.
with a 10, unfortunately,
Spaghetti.
it's hard to tell from across the room. Your vision is pretty good, but it's a bit dim in here. And really, you take a look at Casimir dressed in kind of these dark gray, blackish robes with gold embroidery. And the extent that you can really tell is he has a very high collar. And that's pretty sinister. Most people who have a collar that tall, they're up to no good.
He's evil.
And that's really the extent of what you can tell with a 10. However, as you look over to observe this, you lock eyes with him as he is kind of glancing at your group, who are all standing near the entrance, and you
Doing our scope out of the entrance like fools.
you lock eyes, you realize that you have been made, and you see it from across the room with that 10 that he gives you sort of like a cocked eyebrow and like a bit of a smirk. And you get an uneasy feeling in the pit of your stomach, Casper.
A DreamWorks face.
Casper just glares at him and just fully turns around and is like, I'm going.
Casper,
Stay close, please.
do stay close.
We can go with me. Let's go.
I do want to grab Casper's sleeves. Please don't leave. She sounds genuinely scared.
Alright, I don't think anybody else can really notice this about Casper, but you've known him for long enough. He looks also fucking terrified.
Let's be terrified together then.
His hackles are up. He's like, I've never been surrounded by this much magic, and I want to go. I don't feel safe.
Hilton's
Yeah, it's
not
worth
scared
noting
in the
that,
way.
Casper, your medallion has been just, vibrating more. It was already kind of quivering the whole time you've been at the lodge, but when you step down into this magical space that has been created and just covered and filled with mages and magical effects, your medallion is just vibrating on your chest. All right, well, as the group gets their first taste of the gala, which there's more to come as guests continue to kind of file in, you've encountered the uneasy presence of Casimir, and that is where we will pick up next time.